Hey, Maria back with another video. It's 5:47 p.m. It is December 21st, the first day of winter. A very cold day today. So I thought I'd come on here and make a video. Now, I tried to make a video earlier, but I got interrupted, and I guess it's okay that I did because I guess the video wasn't really coming out the way that I wanted to. It was just me expressing my feelings as usual, and this is exactly why I get on these I make these videos, because sometimes I get a little overwhelmed with my feelings that are beyond my control. Now, I would like to emphasize that fact, because some people think that I'm just bitching and squawking about nothing. And then, every night I go to bed and I lie down, and there's times I wake up, and the very first thing I think about, beyond my control, is this whole issue. And it's the reality of it. It continues to shock me at times. I mean, there's some days I have good days, and then some days I have bad days, but still, I'm still very much affected by this, what I call a new reality. My new reality is coming to understand what my surroundings were really like, and the people that I was around, and who they really were. And I had mentioned before in a few of my videos that, I understand people wear masks, okay? They do. Some people are extremely polite, they smile, hi, how are you? And then behind your back, they're doing other things. And it came to my attention that just about everyone I ever knew was basically wearing a mask. And so slowly but surely over the course of time, especially making these videos, I came to realize that. And it really does. Like, when I wake up in the morning and it's just like, well, this is the reality. Now, in the last few weeks, I've been talking about, I guess, the final stages, or wrapping up who exactly was involved in my gang stalking and who initiated it and everything else. And so I came to the realization that my son's father, his family had more to do with my gang stalking than I had initially thought. And I know that when you're a victim of gang stalking, they bring everybody in. That and this is one of the reasons why it creates a problem, because the main reason why it causes a problem is because it prevents you from having a social support group, because everybody is convinced, and then once it's all over, there's a lot of guilty conscious people who are afraid to literally look at you in the eye, because they came to the realization of what they did, and they know that they can't apologize for. They have no real reason to have done what they did, and so a lot of them feel ashamed of themselves. A lot of them feel guilty, and then there are some people who just really don't give a shit. They wish you were dead all along, so it really doesn't matter to them. Whatever the case is, what happens is that people have revealed their true colors, and it becomes it's very shocking to the victim, which is me in this case. And so, one of the things that have been bothering me that I want to talk about on this video today is the fact that that I feel as though I was never listened to, or that I was never taken seriously. I know that in the past, I'm just expressing my feelings, okay? This is my video. This is my only form of therapy. And I will mention this one more time to targeted individuals. It is highly advisable not to seek out psychiatric care of any kind when you are a targeted individual. And the reason why is because many of your perps are going to set you up, meaning that the person who is supposed to be keeping the information that you tell them in confidence, you think that this information is private, but really they are using it against you. They are part of the the network, okay? And so you really don't have the ability to feel safe with anybody. So when you are a victim of something like this, you literally carry the weight on your shoulders, okay? Because there's really no safe way to go. So I really do suggest you make videos. You have to stand up for yourself. You have to find some way of releasing this. So, and the one thing that you don't want is, you don't want anything on your record saying that you have mental issues or something like that, because even though it's a very common thing to deal with anxiety or whatever, they will look for any excuse to do something to you, okay? Whether that be institutionalized or whatever, because these people don't like you, okay? And they will stop at nothing to destroy you. So you really cannot trust anybody. That's just how it is, okay? So making videos, talking the truth, speaking the truth is your only option. Okay. And some people say, oh, yeah, I can't believe you would tell people to avoid psychiatric care when you need it. No one can be trusted. Okay. Just like you hear about these stories about nurses killing people in hospital rooms and stuff like that. The same thing. If you're a victim of controversy and people think very poorly of you, I think a lot of nurses get into the profession just to kill people. Okay, seriously, I'm not saying all nurses, but that's the case. Okay, and so when you're dealing with gang stalking, people have something against you. Now, I'm not saying that I've dealt with any hostility in the last few months. Okay, but in the beginning, I was dealing with illogical, hostile behavior coming from people, and a part of that is because there was rumors being circulated about me, and they don't care if it's right or wrong. Okay, because I will tell you right now, when people are evil, they will look for any excuse to inflict harm on another human being. Okay, so and I also want to talk about how, maybe I'll bring that up later, but right now I'm just kind of talking about what's going on in my mind. So what's going on in my mind right now is the fact that, I'm dealing with feeling as though I was the life that these people wanted to lay out for me was extremely, like, terrorizing. Like, everything that happened to me in this situation was terrorizing. Number one, they were pulling me away from my goals that I needed in order to survive, which was like the most important thing in my life, because I told my mother, that I have to make sure that I get myself to a certain stage, because I felt as though I was the only person who was going to guarantee my future. Now, mind you, at the time, throughout this years, I got back together with my ex-husband. I'm not married anymore, but I was with my ex-husband. I never relied on my ex-husband's income in any way to get me through retirement or whatever. So I knew that I only had me. Okay, now I'm not married at all right now, but still, even more so now. Okay, I can only rely on myself. So when my mother was working against me, I'm assuming that she was thinking that I was going to get back together with my with Bruce, my son's father. That shocks me, because there was nothing that I have ever said to my mother to indicate that I wanted to get back together with him. And the problem with it is like, I feel as though I could honestly see now that my family really never had much regard for me, and they were basically trying to force me into marriage to somebody that, how I felt about Bruce in the past is that I knew that my son visited him. I didn't think very highly of Bruce, only because I knew that he would do certain things and say certain things to me in the past, and say, as well as his family, that I knew that he had his racist tendencies. Okay, but what happened here was just like total proof and confirmation of it. Okay, it's like it speaks volumes. Okay, coming to this understanding, but my feeling about him is that he wasn't a good choice. Did I outright hate him at the time? No. Do I now? You better believe I do. Him and his fucked up family, because it's like, how dare you come into my life and cause me this much pain? How dare you? So I'm dealing with that, knowing that I can never see these people executed, knowing that I can never see these people put in jail, whatever. That eats at me. Okay, and of course it's going to come out in my when I wake up in the morning, and so on and so forth. It affects me. Okay, because I want justice in a lot of ways. Okay, that I'm never going to get. Okay, so that bothers me. It bothers me that my family was trying to present, or it just my family as well as Bruce's family and a bunch of people that they got together, was trying to present me with a lifestyle that was just absolutely horrifying for me to live. And I was thinking today, I don't bash religion, people who want to be in a religious lifestyle. I don't bash that. But the problem with religion in general, and not saying all religions, but a lot of people who are religious, they forget that it's not the ultimate authority. And I think I mentioned this before. And a lot of times I mention things over and over and over again, because this is my only form of therapy. It's the only way of talking about what goes on in my mind, what's affecting me, and how I have to deal with my struggles alone. Because like I said, I have no support system. Okay, the problem with the religion is that, what might be, which I don't believe that this behavior was condoned within this particular religion. I don't believe that their church members again, I would like to say Jehovah's Witnesses don't call their organization a church, okay? They believe that a church actually represents a group of people. And it's not supposed to be referred to as a building or whatever. They have a different definition of church, okay? So they have a different terminology than regular the Christian faith, okay? But this particular organization, Jehovah's Witnesses, I don't believe that they would have condoned gang stalking, okay? But they did take it upon themselves to enact harassment on a person, and it was extreme harassment. It was basically terrorism, okay? And it was devastating to me. And the very fact that they were so forceful, and the very fact that they enacted something that was obviously a sign of and confirmation of their view of white supremacy was just absolutely earth-shattering to me. And then my family was so stupid that they just went along with it. When you feel like you're not being listened to about your own life, that's very scary. It's very terrifying. Also, I wanted to say that religious people tend to believe in things that conflict with the law. Now, Bruce and I were never married. I was only married one time in my life, okay? I was married to Joel, okay? And then after we divorced, I'm single, okay? I had no intentions of marrying Bruce. He and I were engaged when I was pregnant with my son, and I made that decision not to marry him. Okay, I gave him his ring back. I didn't want to marry him. And I think my family may have thought, well, they think very simple. Like, if this is the child's father, then you should get married. It's the right thing to do. And I have to say that, a long time ago, back in my mother's day, this is what people did. But I don't believe that people should get married just because they're pregnant with somebody's child, okay? I really considered, like, for example, understanding the things that his family would say, and I understood that it would be psychologically devastating for my child to be around that sort of mentality, okay? And so I made a wise decision. I said, I will raise my son by myself. I knew exactly what I was doing. And I know some people may say, well, you didn't have a 4-year degree, you didn't know this, you didn't do that, you screwed this up. And I was trying to make good on what I was doing. I knew I had a very hard life, okay? These kids bullied me in school, blah, 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 blah. And I understood that. I didn't understand exactly who was behind it. And now that I realize that's another thing that just really shattered me. It shattered me knowing that these people have tried to crush me every step of the way, okay? But, I knew that I was going to deal with the hard world, but I also knew that I was a bright person, that I would catch on, I would learn as I go along, and I would figure it out. And I was determined to do it. And I know some people would think, well, you're bold to do that. You know what? I'm the kind of person, if something needs to get done, well, then I'm just going to do it. I don't think about, well, what if this happens? What if this happens? It's this simple. I had a kid. I had to get a roof over his head, and this is what I'm going to do. And, and some people think, well, didn't you think about getting married and stuff like that? Yeah, I dated a few people. I did. And I would never call myself, like, romantically involved with them. I never really considered these people boyfriends. I would go out on a date with them. If you even ate funny, like if you started smacking your lips when you're eating or something like that, I can't take that. I was used to living on my own, and I was used to making my own decisions, and I just really had a hard time finding Mr. Right. And I realized, most Mr. Rights aren't out there for you. A lot of people regret being married. A lot of people are married now and they regret it. They wish that they could get out, because they do. Not a lot of people are happy married. They're not, and I don't think I would be happy married either. You know what I mean? Life is miserable anyway, but when you're with somebody and you have to make compromises for somebody that you're really tired of anyway, it just doesn't seem like it makes a whole lot of sense. And like I said, if people are concerned about my sex life, I could easily go out and have sex with somebody if that was my choice. But I don't want to necessarily have to see them 24 hours a day either. You know what I mean? So you become used to how things are. And this is the only life I really know. I'm comfortable with my life, okay? And I don't really like people, broadcasting my marital status or whatever. But I will tell you, I'm not ashamed. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of my life decisions. I think I'm a very brave person. I think I'm a courageous person, and I like that about me. Um, I don't feel embarrassed. And I think a lot of people try to project their negativity on me. Like, there are some women, like, I get this feeling, okay, from my intuitive, insights. I feel as though a lot of the people who got involved in this, if they were in this situation, and some people feel pressured, okay, especially when you get older, they're like, well, when people start judging you and they start wanting to know, like, they put a lot of pressure on people, like, well, aren't you getting married? You're divorced now. Are you going to start dating again? Or if somebody just gets married and they're like, are you going to have kids soon? It's like, I really wish people would mind their own business, and they need to understand that people have their own plans and not everybody wants to discuss that with them, with out in the public. No, I don't have any intentions of getting married. You know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, ever, really. I mean, I'm not saying I never will, but it's not something that I sit there and think about. You know what I mean? And I certainly wouldn't want to get married to Bruce. You know what I mean? I really wouldn't. And it really bothers me that, they were offering me this life, and it just kept getting more and more traumatizing. Like, okay, we're pulling your career goal away. That broke my heart. Okay. They pulled away. Then they were trying to take away my arts and crafts. Then they were having neighbors spy on me if I was going out walking and stuff like that. They were trying to like make it so that I couldn't go out for walks, and they were just basically throwing me more and more negativity, more and more constraints and misery. And then at the end of it all, I would come to find out that this monster, my son's father, was at the root of it all. And then they're going to try to force me into the Jehovah's Witness faith too. It's like, yeah, definitely kill yourself if this is the only thing that you have to look forward to. And it bothers me because, my family never listened to what I had to say. Yeah, I know people thought maybe, and I don't know why my family thought that I was crazy, because especially since psychic gifts kind of run in the family. I know I believe two of my mother's sisters had psychic gifts. My mother talked about stories in the family where, they would see spirits and stuff like that all the time. So for me to, I don't know, that's just somebody who has no regard for you. So I've come to the realization of that. But still, even still, like, even though I've adjusted to that part, it's still difficult to wake up in the morning knowing that people never wished me any good at all. Like, they literally didn't give a flying fuck what happened to me. That's just like, wow, that's really deep. But no, I don't want people to project their fears or insecurities, how they would do things, why they, their choices on me. You know what I mean? I knew exactly what I was doing when I was raising my son. I knew that somebody had to raise him, someone had to keep a roof over his head, and I knew that was going to be me. And so I really, really highly resent other people coming in and telling me how I was supposed to manage this, how I was supposed to direct my career goals. I mean, like I said, I knew that I had a bad past and negative things happened to me, but I had come up with a way to figure out how I can excel and get myself where I needed to be. And so you have these people coming in telling me their advice that was unwanted. They weren't even telling me the advice. This is what bothers me so much. Instead of, having a constructive discussion with me, they go around and spread shit throughout the community and blacklist me instead. This is not how you do things, and it really, I felt as though they were afraid of my success. If they were really concerned about me, they would have had this discussion in front of me, and they would have arranged jobs, with my consent. So that was just like, it bothers me. So this is why I'm here. I'm just talking out my problems. And like I said, somebody contacted me through Messenger. It was like over the weekend or something. And I did reach out to this person. I usually ignore messages that come through because I know when I was in the heart of my gang stalking, these people had people contacting me. The perps had people contacting me through Messenger and every other social media platform you possibly can think of to try to get into me. I don't want to talk to people who are in direct connection with these people. And this person who contacted me could very well be. You know what I mean? But I felt as though I need to reach out to this person because, I would like to have some conversation, and I would like to talk to other targeted individuals and stuff like that. So I'm trying to open myself up, but I always have to be cautious. And I get tired of having to tap into people's minds, meaning trying to like meditate and trying to figure out where's their motive, where's their angle, because there's a part of you, everybody needs to have someone to talk to. But it's sad when you're gang stalked because the negativity or the reminder of these people are always there. And so you can't really feel like you can trust people, because I don't want that connection. I don't want to hear people's advice, because their advice is usually something that's going to serve them, or suggesting this. Somebody one time complimented me on my hair because I wore my hair up like in one of those little buns or whatever, and I took it as offensive, because it's like, fuck you, don't tell me how to wear my hair, because I feel like sometimes these people like communicate for these other people. I don't want people telling me how to live my life. Life is only good if you're free. That's it. It's only good if you're free. If you don't have fucking freedom, blow your goddamn brains out. It really is that simple. And some people think, damn, Maria, you're like hardcore. Yes, I'm hardcore. And I don't want to deal with people who aren't hardcore, because you're not going to understand me. But I do believe that people should have their freedom. And, freedom is important. And it's amazing to me that, even in slavery ended in 1865, and you got this white bitch trying to tell me how to live my life. Fuck you. 1,000,000 times over. You know what I mean? Don't tell me how to wear my hair. Don't tell me what clothes I'm supposed to wear. I fucking would not want to be married to somebody like that. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't be married to anybody at this point. You know what I mean? What I wanted a bunch of girlfriends to come out and hang out with me in the evening. I remember I met this one lady. We went out and had coffee and tea one evening, and it was nice. It was pleasant, And that's what I want. You know what I mean? I don't need to have that. I mean, romance, I don't know. I mean, it's not what you think it is. It's how can I say it? It's made up for the most part, and I understand that. Marriage is about an institution. It's about supporting another person, and even if you don't love that person. And quite frankly, I don't love anybody, and I don't think I possibly could. I don't think so. You know what I mean? And I know people are like, oh, that's so true. I don't think so. I don't think so. I just don't. So anyway, but my feelings are something that I need to express, because I keep a lot inside of me, and I don't trust anyone anymore because of this foolish bullshit. You know what I mean? And I know that my son was aware of what was going on, and he'll never tell me, and I'm not going to pressure him, but I think it's pretty low that you would use someone close to you. This is what they do. They infiltrate your life, and they defile relationships, okay? And they turn people against you, or they make people question, the way that you live or whatever. And I will tell you right now, I don't, I believe in my lifestyle 100%. 100%. Like, and that's one of the reasons why I felt my views, my beliefs really should be published, because I believe that strongly in them, okay? And as far as I'm concerned, I don't want these people polluting my son's mind, or my son thinking that it's okay to do this sort of thing to a woman. It's wrong. You know what I mean? And I don't bring it up to him in my day life, okay, obviously, because I don't want him to, I don't want to drag this conversation into him, okay, and I don't want to put him on the spot, okay, but I don't. This is wrong behavior. It is abusive. It's extremely abusive to do this to another human being, especially a woman. And I don't believe in your lifestyle, and I didn't appreciate you indoctrinating someone I love against me. How dare you? I mean, really, I was thinking, when I had my son, I left you off the birth certificate for a reason. And I didn't marry you. We never got married. And while my son was a minor, if I would have told you, you have no rights to see him, and if I wanted to prevent you from seeing him, I could have done that. You have absolutely no right to do anything with my son. Now, he's an adult. He can make his own choices, okay? And perhaps maybe you guys get along as friends or whatever. I don't know. That's my son is related to you guys, whatever. And that's his side of the family. But I am not related to you. And don't you dare tell me ever how to live my life. Ever. Okay, and don't you dare think that you have the right to tell my son how to live his life either. Okay? I believe in freedom. And maybe a person of color having freedom kind of freaks you out and that kind of disturbs you. Obviously, you show that it does. But I have freedom regardless, okay? And I'm the kind of person, I'm very peaceful. I just pretty much kind of go to work and come home. I don't like to cause any ruckus. I try to live a decent life as much as I can. Maybe it's not your definition of decent. Maybe your definition of decent is a woman catering to a man, basically being his slave. That's your idea. Because I know religion can cloud the minds of certain people. It can. I mean, some people adopt to certain religions, and it is actually very damaging to women. You know what I mean? As far as I knew, back when I studied with Jehovah's Witnesses, I didn't see anything out that like shocked me or made me think that women were mistreated within that religion. I never got baptized as a Jehovah's Witness, and I don't believe that Bruce was baptized as a Jehovah's Witness either. But I do remember studying with them. I do understand that they're tenets of their religion, but I do think there's certain times members take things into their own hands and they do things that are not necessarily approved within that organization. And I think that they misused religion in order to instigate a terrorist activity. And it is terrorism. And also the inconsistencies, because everybody that was involved in my targeting were not Jehovah's Witnesses. Like I said, I worked for a Catholic person. There were some Mormon people that were involved. And I think they literally were just using religion as an excuse. And that's extremely offensive to me, because I don't hate Jehovah's Witnesses. I know a lot of people who do. I do know that there's a lot of people that I knew in the past who are Jehovah's Witnesses who have a lot of mental issues. I knew that they use it's a very fear-based religion, but overall, I did respect the fact that there were members who were trying to live their lives based on the Bible, and that's one thing I did respect about them, okay? But, when people don't want your religion, you certainly don't enforce that on them. And that really disturbed me, and it disturbed me that my family sat there and helped you do this. And then that they didn't take me seriously when I said I didn't want to get married. And especially to Bruce. I mean, especially him, I know I'm different, and I didn't think I don't deserve, the things that people said about me. I didn't commit adultery with Bruce because Bruce and I were never legally married. You know what I mean? And now this might be coming from your religious standpoint. Now, as far as I knew, that I don't think most people who were Jehovah's Witnesses would have ever viewed me and Bruce as being married. I would be somebody who maybe they might have considered me having a child out of wedlock, but that would be the extent of it. That does not mean that I'm married to Bruce. I was never married to Bruce. We never got married. So I ended up having my reputation destroyed just because. You owe me that. Okay, which I know I will never get compensation for that. You fucking harassed me out of the fucking Farmer's Place job, and then everywhere else you blacklisted me, caused me all kinds of, psychological damage, and you will never apologize, and your fucking religion really doesn't mean anything to you. You're just another hypocrite, at the end of the day. So but anyway, back to my new reality. My new reality is that, I wake up every morning and I understand that what I meant to my family was nothing. And what I obviously meant to the people that I used to know, even though I was concerned about them and I would send them birthday cards and holiday cards, I meant nothing to these people. These people were all fucking just evil people. Like, I literally never knew any decent people in my entire life. That's like, wow, so I deal with this reality every day. Like, who do I trust? I don't trust a goddamn person anymore. And I think I'm right to be that way. And it seems extreme, but I don't think I'm being carried away at all. I think I'm right to be this way. But I have to be like super vigilant, and be careful about the people that I interact with. So anyway, I had to get that off my chest. Please forgive me if I do sound like a broken record, but you have to keep talking things out. And I really do recommend all targeted individuals to make videos, talk about what's on your mind, even if you're saying it over and over and over and over again. There's targeted individuals who will be more than happy to listen to it over and over and over again, because they are dealing with trauma. that they can't trust anyone either. Okay? And it's sad, but that's just the way it is. When you're dealing with community harassment or people who got involved in something or who have a special allegiance to the monsters that orchestrated all of this, okay, which everyone did, you cannot expect them to be good to you. Ever. You know what I mean? That's just how it is. I mean, and it's sad, but that's just reality of it. So you have to be your own professional. You have to be your own therapist, and you have to handle things the best way you possibly can. And making videos helps because you're talking it out, you're hearing yourself saying it over and over again, or maybe you just need to say it once, whatever, but you're saying it and you can listen to it again if you have to. Okay, and then most important is you're getting your truth out. You're out there showing your face to the world. I don't even hide my name. My name is Maria Gordon, okay? My name is Maria Gordon, and I'm a victim of a hate crime. And I'm talking about it for everyone to see, okay? And I'm dealing with the aftermath of betrayal. And that's what you need to do. You need to do this, okay? Because, like I said, these people keep these things very quiet, okay? It's a very carefully orchestrated crime, okay? To where it is a silent killer. Do you realize when you are a victim of gang stalking that you could be, somebody can murder you, and I doubt anybody would take you, whether you're missing or whatever, seriously. If the community knows about it, they're gonna be happy to fucking sweep that shit under the carpet. You know what I mean? It is a very serious thing when you are a victim of this sort of crime. So you need to get out there and you need to make your videos. So anyway, I'm going to wrap up my video. I think I've said enough. Until next time. So, for those people who have reached out to me and I haven't returned you your call or your email or whatever, I will eventually get to you. I'm hoping that this person contacts me from Facebook. He seems like an interesting person. I'd like to hear his story. I know he watches my videos. He says, that he finds a lot of inspiration in my videos, and I hope that I am helping him. I hope that he makes videos. I hope anybody who is a targeted individual makes videos and does something to heal themselves. I'll be back in the other video sometime later. Take care. Bye-bye.